Hi Stampers! I was just getting ready to mail my thank you cards and gifts to my customers who placed an order in my online store for March of 2024. I tried a new to me technique called the Blackout Technique. I've been hearing a lot about it. It was very fun and very easy. Doesn't take a lot of supplies and it's just a little bit messy, not too bad. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Susan Petty-Baylor. I'm an independent Stampin Up demonstrator in Locust Grove, Virginia. If you are a returning stamper, welcome back. I would really appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and click on the bell icon to be notified of any future videos that I might post. I'm going to turn my camera down to my workspace and share with you how to do the Blackout Technique. So these are some of the cards that I made using the Blackout Technique. This technique works best if you use a 3D embossing folder. One of the ones I used was this layered florals embossing folder. Actually, let me get this stuff out of the way so you can see this a little bit better without quite all the distraction. Okay, so this is the layered florals 3D embossing folder. When you emboss, you have an embossed side, which is the part that's raised, and you have the debossed side, the part that's depressed into the paper. It's indented into the paper. This is the side that we're going to be using today. I'm hoping that you can see the difference. I think you can. Normally we consider this front and back. For this case, we're using the back. All right, so I used the layered florals embossing 3D. I used the fern 3D, the elegant eucalyptus 3D. This one is retiring. And I used one of the basic 3D embossing folders. This is a large polka dot one. And this you can see also embossed or raised and debossed, indented. I actually made this card with one of my customers in mind. She has 3 boys and a husband, so a house full of guys. So I know she can always use masculine birthday cards. So I thought this would be good for that. So I'm going to set that aside. So to do this technique, I've used blending brushes and I have used sponge daubers. Either works, whatever you have. Cajun Craze, Real Red, Gorgeous Grape, Balmy Blue, Shaded Spruce, and Lemon Lolly. Odd kind of color combinations, but I think it worked. I think it's kind of fun. Anyway, I'm going to use blending brushes because these colors are very different from each other. What do I want to say? It's not like I have, 2 yellows and, colors that are similar to each other. So I really need to have a blending brush or a dauber for each separate color to be able to do this effectively. When you're using blending brushes, usually you do a circular motion. I just went kind of in stripes to follow along with the dotty pattern. Let's see. That was Shaded Spruce. This was Lemon Lolly, Shaded Spruce. And this next one. And this one is Balmy Blue. And I want these colors to be fairly dark. So I'm going to really lay down a lot of ink. I want them to be bold, even if it's a lighter color. I want it fairly bold. I think I need a little more Shaded Spruce in there. Let me bring that back in. Get a little bit more. Straighten that out a little. That's not very straight there, but that's okay. Close that up. All right, next we have Gorgeous Grape. In the new 2024-2025 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog, 2 pages were devoted to color theory. I used the color wheel from the catalog, the triadic color theory, and adapted it to fit my 6 colors. Basically, the colors are evenly spaced around the color wheel. So we have Lemon Lolly, Shaded Spruce, Balmy Blue, Gorgeous Grape, Real Red, and Cajun Craze. Real Red. Next, I just don't want to get fingerprints in the ink. I think I went a little too thick on one of these colors. So my next color, which is Cajun Craze, is going to get kind of skimpy. But it doesn't really matter. Because again, Cajun Craze. All right. Okay. I think that's good. A lot of times if I'm sharing a blending brush and using this, say I'm doing a lot of different blues, I might start out with my lightest blue and work up light, medium, dark, etc. And I can just rub off the excess ink between colors. And if I go from light to dark, I'm not going to get a dark color in my light ink pad. So I should be, safe to do it that way. But since these colors are so dramatically different from one another, I didn't want to take any chances of mixing colors in my ink pad, so I went with all separate blending brushes. Now I'm going to take my Memento Tuxedo Black. Let me get a little paper here to hold. This is why I end up with inky fingers. So on a flat surface, you're just going to take your ink pad, and rub it all over. Now you can, this ink pad doesn't happen to be super juicy. If your ink pad was super juicy, you probably wouldn't want to do it that way, and I'll show you why in just a couple minutes. You would just drag like this, kind of back and forth until you cover everything. But because this ink pad is a little bit drier, I've been doing this quite a bit in the last few days. Because this ink pad is a little bit drier, it's okay to just kind of swirl it around on your cardstock. Okay, so that is the finished product. There's the raised side and the indented or debossed side. And then I would just mount this on a Cajun Craze card base, or you could do some other color that you liked in there. Any one of those colors. And then I did Happy Birthday, Balmy Blue, and Cajun Craze on top. So I think that's kind of fun. This one seems a little brighter to me. I think the Balmy Blue didn't get muddied with some of the other colors. Here, let's put another sheet in here. This is another card that I did. This was the Elegant Eucalyptus 3D embossing folder, and I'm about halfway through. But I just wanted to show you, if you were using an embossing folder that didn't have an overall pattern the way the dots did, you can use sponge daubers, and you can go in circular motions and apply ink however you want. Now on these berries, I used a marker, and I think I probably used the brush tip to just do the berries. I wanted them to stand out. It's a little bit darker color, and I didn't want to get, if I had used the sponge dauber with the red, I probably would have gotten it on the leaves. So I didn't want to do that, so I used the marker. And I think I used the marker for the yellow also, the Daffodil Delight. Actually, I'm going to pull this out of here, and I'm going to finish this. This side is dry, but it's going to work the same way as the one you just saw me do. It's going to go in circles. And I like the way the, some of the highlights pick up the black in the color. I think in the, the debossed areas, I think that makes it super interesting and very pretty. So you can see that's what I guess I think that's right side up. That's what it will look like when it's finished. And I used Daffodil Delight, Berry Burst, Lemon Lime Twist, and Garden Green, and then black in the background. And I thought I would mount it on Garden Green. I wasn't sure if maybe I wanted to add a piece of Daffodil Delight behind this. That's not cut quite accurately. I would play with that. But that could be really pretty. That would really make that card pop. So, I don't know. We'll see. All right, I'm going to put this clean sheet back here. I wanted to show you that you want to, when you're using the Memento, I mentioned that if your ink pad is really juicy, you might have a little whoosh. So this was white cardstock with the Fern embossing folder, and I sponged, or I used a blender brush and put Lemon Lime Twist on there, and then I decided I wanted to try Shaded Spruce instead of black. But my Shaded Spruce was very, very juicy. And it's a different kind of pad. It's a soft foam pad as opposed to the black, which is a felt pad. So this is much more firm, whereas the foam is not. It's much more squishy. My ink pad was very full, and it just went sucked right on there. So have no fear, not all is lost. I just took my Shaded Spruce and very carefully rubbed it over the front of the embossed side, and I think that is going to be a really pretty card. So even though it was an oops, we have a second side, and and just do something different. I have another one here like that. This is the one that was successful. Lemon Lime Twist and Shaded Spruce. Let me give you those side by side. Sometimes it just takes a little practice. But yeah, we have that. Here's another one. I was trying Lemon Lime Twist and Old Olive. I didn't really like the combination. And I had the same issue with the ink pad that was soft foam, heavily inked, and just didn't really work as well. But I do really like Shaded Spruce as the background, as an option instead of black. And I thought this turned out really pretty. This was that same eucalyptus folder. And let's see. This is Granny Apple Green, which is in here. You can see I got some Shaded Spruce in there, but again, it's okay. What did I say? Lemon Lime Twist, Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, Berry Burst, and then I did Shaded Spruce over the back. I think it turned out really pretty. Here's another one that I did with the basic 3D dot folder. This is Bubble Bath, Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, Orchid Oasis, Daffodil Delight. And I used these Wanted to Say dies. They have the words and then the shadow that goes behind them. There's Happy Birthday, Congratulations, Feel Better Soon, and You're Too Kind. It's hard to read backwards. I thought it would be nice to have a really bold sentiment that didn't take away very much space from the background, which I thought was the star of the card. I'll also finish this with some gems, as I have done on a few others. This is one of the ones that I used the layered florals 3D embossing folder. This was, let's see, Fresh Freesia, Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lime Twist, and Highland Heather. So I thought that turned out just really beautifully. I think that's a very feminine birthday card. And then this is one using Berry Burst, Sweet Sorbet, Daffodil Delight, and Granny Apple Green. You really can't see the Daffodil Delight. I did that in the center of the flowers, the smaller flowers and the medium flowers. But it still gives it, you know, a little bit of a color difference. And then I was thinking I would maybe do this as a sympathy card. So yeah, here we have, these are all the cards, or most of the cards that I made using the Blackout Technique. I hope you'll give it a try. Like I said, it really is fun, not difficult. If you don't have blending brushes, like I would not have done this with blending brushes. I think it would have been too difficult. The ink would have gotten, you know, would have gone all over. But if I wanted it more of a monochromatic look and not done the various colors, then it would have been fine to use the blending brushes. So anyway, blending brushes or sponge daubers. Put on that color however you want and have a fun time. Here's the last one. So thank you so much for joining me to learn how to do the Blackout Technique. I hope I see you again in the future. As I said, if you are interested in the catalog and you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, please reach out to me. My contact information and all of the information, all the supplies that I used for the cards. It will all be in the description below the video. Happy stamping!